Denver, Colorado. The site of the second to last round of Monster Energy AMA Supercross as we welcome you to the SMX Insider post-race show. And what a night at Empower Field at Mile High. And let's get things rolling with some highlights from a really entertaining night. We were talking championship because it was down to Jet Lawrence and Cooper Webb. How would it play out between these two stars of the premier class?
Man, Jet Lawrence coming out of that gate like a rocket. Then the number one of Chase Sexton getting a great start as well, and he lays it down in the first corner. That was a tricky first corner because the dirt was so loose.
It was Hunter Lawrence out in front aboard the 96. And here's again a look at Sexton's front end washing out, and Malcolm Stewart got jammed in that as well.
And Malcolm Stewart and Chase Sexton had a really good comeback.
Eli Tomac was on the charge early, getting by teammate Justin Cooper.
He
was looking good until this, RC.
Right, yeah, he initiates the corner. Watch, he's going to lean the bike over, and as he starts to do that, starts to lose grip going up the face of the jump, and then when the bike unloads, suspension unloads, when he goes over that jump, that's when he loses a lot of traction.
So he began the catch-up mode. So Hunter Lawrence led his little bro for quite some time and was, you know, considering he has one 450 Premier Class podium, he was looking at his first win until that moment there where younger brother Jet said, okay, I'm not going to follow you anymore, I'm going for the lead.
Well, I think that Hunter led for over half the race, close to it.
Chase Sexton had a remarkable comeback, as Ricky said earlier, aboard the one, and he went for the move on Cooper Webb, got by him, but it was short-lived. Check this out.
Yeah, I mean, it was really shiny right there in that corner, and if you lean too much in the wrong spot, that's going to happen, as slippery as it is, or it's shiny. Watch, Malcolm's going to come around the outside, rail this corner like a slot car, and just asks too much out of those tires, and it was a great effort, and Malcolm was fast, all good. I feel like that's the best he's ridden all season long.
Yeah, he was on it for sure. Jet Lawrence had a quick look to see where his brother was. Checkered flag out for his 8th victory of his rookie season. Incredible win, and that's the second time this year he's won 3 in a row. It was a wounded Cooper Webb in pain, came across, didn't even do the last jump. Look, rolls the finish jump. He did everything he could just to get to that point. That was a mighty performance from him to keep the championship alive, even though he knows that it's a tough one next weekend. And the Lawrence brothers, the first in the Premier Class to get a brotherly 1-2. Has happened in Pro Motocross, but that was the first time in Monster Energy AMA Supercross. And Jason Anderson, another solid performance to get back-to-back podiums in as many races. So a really cool result for the Kawasaki man, but it was a Honda 1-2. Jet and Hunter Lawrence, that's the stuff of dreams, mate.
Oh, I mean, it's just absolutely incredible. What a cool story that is. And Anderson rode well tonight, too. Barsha, loved seeing Barsha. He's put in several good rides here the last few weeks as well.
Dylan Ferrandis coming via the LCQ, winning that and finishing inside the top 10, so that was a good result. Adam Cianciarillo in the top 15. AC has one race left.
I bet he's going to be excited after that last lap at Salt Lake City.
All right, speaking of Salt Lake City, this is the point scenario heading to the championship finale. Jet Lawrence boasts a 20-point advantage. So, as it stands, Jet wins, Cooper third or worse at Salt Lake City, of course, because he's got that massive advantage. So it was a fun night here in Denver, folks. Hi, Lee Diffie and the GOAT, Ricky Carmichael. What's your overall takeaway? Just Jet really composed.
Yeah, Jet really composed and really turning it on when he needed to. And I go back to 2 weeks ago when the points were tied up and he just started making it happen. His back was against the wall. He performed. Go back to last week in the main event when he needed to get a good start after the horrible start in the heat race. Boom, he answers the bell. Here tonight, boom, he gets a good start in the main event. 2 good starts here tonight, doing what he has to do in pressure moments. And so that's what I take away here from tonight. But as a season, just incredible. And just how he's rebounded from mistakes, not making the same mistake twice. And he's something special for sure.
Talking about a rebound, we have to talk about Eli Tomac being here in his home state. This is where his championship ended last year. He had all that time away from the bike, but coming back, and the news in recent days that he will do the Pro Motocross Championship and do the SMX playoffs and the World Championship race, and is contemplating next year as well. That's great news.
Oh, I love it. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and I think that he'll get better. You know, he took so much time off, and his off season there wasn't a lot of preparation. He didn't get on the bike to what, mid-October? It's so hard to play catch up like that, and then probably wasn't feeling comfortable at the beginning of the series. He's gotten better and better. Was off tonight. Something was going wrong. I think he hurt his hand a little bit. Hopefully it's nothing too crazy, but I think he's going to continue to get better and better, and that would be awesome if he could have a good motocross season and then good SMX playoffs and World Championship round also at the final one in Vegas. I think that if he has a good off season, he'll be even stronger next year.
Well, it was a huge and historic night for the Lawrence family. Will Christian has more.
What a night for the Lawrence family in all. I mean, incredible night for Honda, but an amazing night for the family. Desi, I'm going to start with you. We've heard from the boys already. I'm going to start with you. Yeah. You're looking on and you're seeing you guys in 1-2, and then they switched it around. After all the work that has gone in, we've documented your story, talked about it a lot, wherever you guys have come from. In that moment, what's going through your head? What's going through your head? What's going through your head as a dad?
Just unbelievably proud, you know, that we came from where we came from and just never gave up, just kept working and just didn't quit, and just unreal feeling as a dad. The boys just, they just knuckled in and just kept on working, you know. So that's to kids at home and families at home, just never give up. Never give up. So no, proud of my boys. Absolute Lionhearts.
You were the one who got to be out there in front first, Hunter. You know that your brother's there. You know your dad's watching. And you know what's on the line here and what you're making history as you go there. So you're focusing on the race at that moment? Are you letting all those thoughts come in?
Yeah, there's after lap 1, there's still 19 minutes to go. So there's a lot to focus on. A lot of race to happen. But yeah, even still with 2 laps to go, just focusing to get across the line. And it was cool to lead, obviously. Cool then to come 1-2 with both brothers. That's never been done before in the Premier class. So pretty awesome night. Big night for Jet on the points. I mean, just stoked.
Stoked for you. And Jet, speaking of the points there, you had to be tussling it up in your head and going, all right, you got Hunter there potentially for his first 450 win, but you got points you got to fight for as well. Is there any point there where you were thinking, maybe this should just be Hunter's tonight?
Yeah, it definitely crossed my mind kind of probably around halfway, and I was still behind him. It was it crossed my mind like, because I could see Cooper was pretty far back. I'm like, how far back is he? I'm like, I want to get past just to have a little extra bigger cushion, but then again not. But I'm like, I would like to have the extra points for the last one, sadly enough. But no, Hunter's riding great, and I think if it was any other night, I think I wouldn't have tried to having a push and passing him. But he had to make me step it up a gear and go. So no, it was an awesome night. It felt like a practice day, and it's awesome to see because it hasn't been the smoothest year for Hunter, with missing a few rounds and that stuff and some bad luck. So to finally see this and see what we see during the week is awesome. It makes as a brother just even more happy.
Well, you guys are at the very top of your sport, and there you are as 2 brothers sitting at the very top of the race in the top of your sport. Incredible. Dazzy, congratulations. Good job.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
a very proud parental moment and a terrific family moment. Look, riders, these athletes come from all over the world. They come to Monster Energy AMA Supercross and the SuperMotocross World Championships from all over the globe. And this family has come from a long way. They come from my home state in Australia. I know exactly how far they've come from. So, I mean, you've seen families come and go in this sport. This is a really special story.
Well, it is special. And just think of how easy it could have went wrong for them, for all that they sacrificed. There's never any guarantee. But those boys stuck to their roots, and I go back to why I still think they're doing so well, and they will always continue to go well, because they know what it was like to not have anything, and they don't want to experience that. I know that for a fact from them, and that'll be their story to tell someday. But I feel like that's one of the biggest reasons they do so well, is because they don't ever want to live that life again.
it was good to hear from Jet too that when I said, oh, he's not going to pass his brother, he said, I did think about that, but I wanted more points, so that's why I passed him. They did it on a track that had some serious ruts. It got very, very hard and was pretty challenging, and with more on that, here's JT.
I'm standing in the whoop section. That was one of the most difficult that we've seen in this entire 2024 Monster Energy Supercross Championship, and the level of difficulty got ratcheted up because you see the rut that formed, and this was formed by riders jumping. They were doubling all the way through the session. You saw riders like Cooper Webb, Justin Cooper, resorting to that line. Now, what Jet Lawrence was doing was he wanted to blitz because it was so much faster. Now, the challenge was he had to blitz in about a 6-inch window. And you think about how wide his tire is, how small the margin of error was, and he was touching this edge there, touching the edge here, and then finally, this is the first whoop that he was on, touching the edge here. Now, what that does is it doesn't leave you any room, because if you fall down into that rut, you start going side to side, and every so often we saw both Jet Lawrence and Hunter Lawrence side to side, and that's because the rear tire was falling into that rut. So when you're talking about racing at this level, there's such a small margin for error, and the level of difficulty is so high because they're literally hitting a 6-inch window each and every lap. But that is the difference between winning and losing. They were making up time each and every lap here by choosing to take the line that nobody else would.
Good stuff, JT. Thanks for that. Hey, we look forward to a really exciting championship finale. And then here's a little snapshot of what's coming your way once we go outdoors for those first handful of pro motocross races. Kicks off at Pala, at Fox Raceway, and then at the end of the year, of course, the SMX playoffs and the World Championship race. And remember that you can now watch in Spanish language via Telemundo on their YouTube page. So looking forward to that and a whole lot more coming in this season. We've handled 450. Let's get to 250 highlights. And the championship was tight coming into Denver between RJ Hampshire and Levi Kitchen. Just 2 points separating these two star athletes in 250 West.
These guys battled it out last year here, but starting next to each other. I love it. Levi getting a better jump out of the gate, but that was nice move by RJ Hampshire to tuck to the inside. It's going to get messed up here by Talon Hawkins, number 35. I won't say mess up, but it kind of put him behind. That was a nice save, but look at this hit.
Nobody got a better start than Joe Shimoda, and nobody got hit better than RJ Hampshire. He handled that from Nate Thrasher, and he didn't enjoy it, but he prevailed.
Yeah, he did. This is a good pass to get by Jordan Smith. Didn't make any contact, but scared Jordan enough. Well, not scared him, but pushed him to the outside enough. Jordan goes off course.
How about this? The boot, the left boot of Levi Kitchen coming almost completely undone.
Yeah, that happened on the start, and this could have turned out to be very, very bad for Levi Kitchen. Luckily, the bottom two buckles stayed together. He's able to keep that boot on. Otherwise, we'd be talking a little bit different story here.
Joe Shimoda had the advantage. He won his heat and led the entire main event. RJ Hampshire bridged the gap. It got close. It got really close on the final lap. Watch this. Watch Levi Kitchen get super close to Joe Shimoda, but it was the Japanese rider with his second ever main event victory, and that has been a long time coming. And Joe has had this podium run in the last 5 races. That was awesome. Big win aboard the factory HRC Honda. And guess who was waiting for him? His Honda teammate and friend, Jet Lawrence, saying that's the way to do it. And plenty of emotion inside the Honda camp. So it was a Shimoda, Kitchen, Hampshire podium.
Yeah, incredible ride. It's going to be a lot of fun going to that showdown next week in Salt Lake City, the final round, winner take all. And if you're RJ Hampshire, although you didn't get the win tonight, I still think it was a solid ride by RJ. I mean, he did the best that he could do. He didn't have any huge mistakes, and he's well in the game. And the last showdown he went to was good.
Here's the story, RC.
Boom.
Is that RJ and Levi Kitchen are tied. 3 wins each, exactly the same amount of points. It is going to be whoever finishes better is going to be the 250 West champ next week.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting. I can't wait to get to Salt Lake City, and then we get to watch the East 250 East riders as well, and a lot to look forward to.
So we just showed you a brief highlight there, and Ricky explained it beautifully about the buckles and the clips on the side of Levi Kitchen's boots, his Fox boots, coming undone. You could see it flapping. Like we gave the example during the call. Imagine skiing or snowboarding and a couple of your buckles and latches coming undone. You just don't have that snug, supportive feel. Well, Will Christian was able to catch up with Levi and get a reaction and find out more about that intriguing main event and that really odd occurrence.
Levi, we got to talk about that race out there. A lot happened at the end, but something we didn't get to discuss earlier, so I want to talk to you now, was the boot. It was clearly completely open. Ricky noticed it, guessing it was done off the start there. How difficult was that to ride like that? I mean, at one point it was completely flapping open. You kind of had any support there at all?
Yeah, that was crazy, and it was just a freak accident. I don't even know how it happened, but somebody's fork guard caught it, and yeah, that's actually why early I skimmed the whoops like the first 2 laps, and I felt my boot almost come off. So I went to jumping because I was like, I mean, there's no way we could ride without a boot. Our foot would just get cut up. So yeah, I don't know. It got easier. I kind of got used to it at the end, but the first like 3 laps, that's all I was thinking about. So it was a little sketchy.
That's exactly. So Ricky and JT were back and forth talking about it, and they said it must be incredibly distracting. There you are trying to focus on the job in hand, and you got the boot there. So it just kind of faded into the background there a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. The first few laps, I was in my head, I'm playing through stuff like, can I pull over for a second and strap it, or then I lose time, so I just had to ride. It was kind of weird.
It was impressive. Thanks ever so much.
How about that? The bizarre things that happen in live sport.
No, he made the right choice, but incredible ride by Levi to have to be worrying about that, thinking about that, and adjust his riding style accordingly. Well done.
And again, hung on to ensure that the championship will be decided next weekend in Salt Lake City. Monster Energy Supercross continues its efforts to support the life-changing work of St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Available now, you can bid on unique race memorabilia from the Love Moto Stop Cancer Race in the Music City. Go to supercrosslive.com/St. Jude. The auction ends on May 13th. So we need to show you the updated manufacturer's points and how we arrived at them. Here's a quick snapshot as to these results here in Denver across the various manufacturers involved in Monster Energy AMA Supercross. So that's Denver results. The overall looks like this with just one race weekend to go. It's tight between Yamaha and Honda.
A lot of pride on the line with those manufacturers. They take it serious, and Honda was a class of the field last year. Yamaha doing extremely well, and I like Yamaha's their play and their scenario of how they have so many points and accumulate so many points is completely different than Honda's. They're more of, I feel like, a strength in numbers compared to HRC.
All right, so one left. It is Salt Lake City, Utah. That will be the title decider for 450, 250 East, 250 West. Let's show you what you can look forward to with the Yamaha track map.
Well, here we go. Fairly decent start. I like that radius. Nice sweeping left-hand corner. Going to be interesting. Now again, we're going to be in elevation. I think it's about 800 to 600 feet lower than what we're here at Mile High. So back and forth, very similar to what this racetrack is. Now, it'll be interesting to see what these whoops are, because we're only racing, we only have 9 whoops, which I think is great. Over the finish line, back across the start. So these short chutes are, again, they're going to race similar to this, except I don't believe that the dirt's going to be quite as hard next week. Traditionally in Salt Lake City, it's more of a softer type material.
Yeah. And this is what the athletes are racing for next weekend in Salt Lake City. Who will be the champions? And here's how you can watch it. 2:30 p.m. Eastern, race day live on Peacock. The pre-race at 7:30. And of course, you can watch the race, the deciding races, from 8 p.m. Eastern on USA. Telemundo on the YouTube page. There'll be an encore presentation on network television on NBC Sunday at 2 p.m. And don't forget, outside the US, the SuperMotocross Video Pass. What a weekend in the Mile High City. It's given us so much enjoyment, and it sets up for a big showdown in Utah. It was a night dominated by the Red Riders, Joe Shimoda and his teammate Jet Lawrence. and there was just one to go, and that's Salt Lake City to decide the champions.